10 amazing evidences for the biblical flood. What if I told you there is overwhelming evidence that a catastrophic flood, just like the one described in the Bible, once covered the earth? Today, we're diving into 10 incredible evidences that point to the reality of this event. Get ready to be amazed as history, science, and faith align in powerful ways. First up, marine fossils on mountaintops. From the towering Himalayas to the Andes, scientists have uncovered fossils of marine life, fish, seashells, and corals at astonishing altitudes. For instance, did you know Mount Everest's limestone contains the remains of marine creatures? How did these sea-dwelling organisms end up thousands of feet above sea level? The Bible's account of a global flood offers an incredible explanation. In Genesis, it states that the waters from the flood reached to the tops of the highest mountains. This clearly points to a worldwide flood just as described in the Bible. Next up, polystrate fossils. Have you heard of polystrate fossils? These are fossilized trees found standing upright through multiple layers of sediment. In school, we are taught that these layers are formed over millions of years. But imagine a tree remaining intact for thousands or millions of years while layers slowly build around it. It's impossible. Rapid burial in a catastrophic event, like the flood described in Genesis, makes much more sense. Remember the science experiment from school where you mixed water and dirt in a jar, let it sit, and eventually watch the dirt settle into different layers? These layers in tree fossils look more like rapid sedimentation, another evidence of a massive flood. The next clue lies in sedimentary rock layers that blanket entire continents. These layers, often hundreds of feet thick, show signs of rapid water deposition. Take the Grand Canyon, for example. Its layers tell a story of fast-moving water laying down massive amounts of sediment. Doesn't this sound like what you'd expect from a worldwide flood? Number 4, ancient stories. Here's something very fascinating. Thousands of ancient cultures have a flood legend. The Mesopotamians spoke of the Epic of Gilgamesh, which features a righteous man building a large boat to survive a great deluge. Native Americans recount stories of a great flood that wiped out much of humanity, leaving only a few survivors chosen by the Creator. In China, the tale of Nuwa tells of a goddess repairing the sky after a flood devastated the earth, saving humanity. These stories often share key elements with the Genesis account, such as a chosen figure, divine judgment, and a vessel of salvation. While the details differ, the common thread of a massive, destructive flood cannot be ignored. As Noah and his family would have passed down the story of the flood to their generations, and considering they were the only family on earth, these stories are clear echoes of the same historical event described in Genesis. Number 5, unnatural fossil discoveries. All over the world, we find fossil graveyards, dense collections of bones, sometimes from vastly different species, all jumbled together. This indicates they were buried rapidly and violently. In Wyoming's Green River Formation, for instance, millions of fish fossils are preserved together, as though swept up in a massive flood. What else could explain such sudden and large-scale burial? Number 6, rapidly buried creatures. Some fossils reveal creatures frozen in time, fish caught mid-meal, marine reptiles giving birth, all fossilized in an instant. The rapid burial required to preserve such delicate moments aligns perfectly with the idea of a sudden global catastrophe. These fossils are snapshots of a world overwhelmed by water. Number 7, continental shelf evidence. Have you ever wondered about the sudden drop-offs at the edges of continents? The continental shelves look like areas that were once dry land before being rapidly submerged. This could reflect the aftermath of the flood when water receded, carving out these underwater features. Number 8, water gap canyons. Canyons like the Grand Canyon reveal evidence of water's incredible power. These features were likely formed by massive volumes of water moving at high speed, not slow erosion over millions of years. Could the receding waters of a global flood have carved these stunning landscapes? Number 9, recorded history in the flood line. Here's a fascinating fact. Much of recorded history begins roughly 4,500 years ago, which aligns closely with the biblical timeline of Noah's flood. The earliest known civilizations, like the Sumerians and Egyptians, emerged shortly after this period. Could this be evidence of humanity starting over after a cataclysmic event destroyed everything? The Bible tells us Noah's family repopulated the earth, and the sudden appearance of advanced cultures may point to this restart in human history. Number 10. Genetic evidence of a common ancestor. Modern genetics offers another intriguing clue. Studies of mitochondrial DNA and the Y chromosome suggest humanity traces back to a small group of ancestors. This aligns with the biblical account of Noah, his wife, and their sons' families as the sole survivors of the flood. Could our shared genetic markers be a testament to this incredible story? While science continues to explore these connections, the parallels with the Genesis narrative are truly remarkable. When we look at the evidence around us, from fossils to flood legends, we see a world shaped by water. These clues align with the biblical account of Noah's flood and point to the truth of the Bible. If the flood is real, then so is the God who orchestrated it. The Bible not only tells us about the flood, but also reveals countless other truths, all of which remain accurate throughout history. It's a reminder of God's sovereignty, His justice, and His grace. This is just the beginning. The Bible is full of truths waiting to be uncovered, and not a single one has been proven false. Join us on this journey to explore more reasons why the Bible is true. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next faith-filled discovery.